Today I will show you how I scaled the high ticket offer from scratch to $14,473 per month in just 30 days. For context, this is a barbershop coaching offer, and in May, the offer owner had 0 clients, but again, we finished up June with $14,473 in the bank. So I will walk you through how we implemented the 3 pillars that every coaching business needs to be successful. This is traffic generation, conversion, and the feedback loop. Now, genuinely speaking, if any of these are missing from your coaching business, you can bleed precious revenue. So make sure you take notes as I will go through these, or you can book a one-on-one call with me down below, first link in the description, but let's just get into it. Now, for context, you want to understand that my client didn't have a big audience on IG, neither on YouTube. This is something that we need to do from scratch. So how did we do it? Well, let's start with traffic generation. As you know, you can generate traffic in a plethora of ways. You can run ads, you can do long form, short form content, you can do cold email, cold IG outreach. The possibilities are literally endless. And for a coaching business, it's super important to have one great traffic generation system. You need to have eyeballs coming to your page, coming to your business. Now, for us, our back was against the wall. He may have to close the business if we don't make it work fast. So because of that, I decided we will do ads on a very low budget. And genuinely speaking, with the results we were able to generate, overall on our campaign is 8.8x ROAS. If you're a coach and you don't have these types of ads running, you're literally missing out. This is such a great technique right now. So what kind of ads did we run? Let's get into it. This is a very, very hard decision. Like, we know that video ads perform really well, right? But the issue we had is that the offer wasn't quite validated. Just think about it. If he didn't have clients, even though he was publishing on IG, it could mean that there is no demand for this. So I decided to run static ads, and I will explain why. The pros of static ads is you can create a lot of creatives fast because it's done with AI. You don't have to go record, edit, blah, 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 extra costs. AI is enough for you to do this. I mean, ChatGPT is enough. And secondly, because of how fast you can create creatives, you can test a lot of offers. You can test a lot of messaging. You can test a lot of angles. You can see if there is demand. Now, the cons, on the other hand, is that leads are not pre-sold. So you're running ads to get leads, right? But people are not sold on you when they just see a random image. And the other thing is that the ad fatigue is high, meaning the CPL or CPC and CAC goes up the roof very shortly, like 1 or 2 weeks max, and you have to create new ad creatives. But for me, the pros outweighed the cons because we can do it on a low budget and it's very quick to get done, so we can test it. So this is what we have done. And this is like static ads 101. You have to target their pains, desires, or show your offer and make the image immediately recognizable. Here are some examples of what we've done. Again, barbershop coaching examples. Every empty chair is lost revenue. Had enough of the daily chaos. You get the point, right? These are the static ads that we run. And what you need to pay attention to is everything is in a barbershop. Because if you're a barber scrolling on your home feed and you see this ad, you just look at it for a second and the headline immediately gets you because this is your pain that you're living through right now. So that's why we had such a good ROI or ROAS on these ads. Now, there are some other things that I want to talk about regarding static ads and the traffic generation, but I can only talk about them after I go through the others as well. So I have to go through conversion, more importantly the funnel, and I have to go through the feedback loop for these to actually make sense for you. So that's what I'm going to do now. Let's move to conversion. This is the second thing that's super important for a coaching business. The first is traffic generation. If you have a coaching business, you don't have eyeballs, people do not see you, they are never going to buy from you, meaning you're not going to have a coaching business. But if you have eyeballs, but you cannot convert them into booked calls at least, then convert them into clients, again, you're never going to make money and or scale. So what you need to do is create a conversion system which takes a random person who just seen your ad, your video or whatever, and makes them a client as soon as possible. That's what you need to get done. And how we did this for this offer is super simple. Now, as you now understand, we had the traffic coming from ads, but we need a way to convert them into booked calls. And that's how the simplest funnel you can imagine was born. I never done a simpler funnel than this, and it worked super well. We start with an opt-in page. As you can see, super simple, not complicated. They landed on our opt-in page where they needed to fill out a form. This is the form. The form had 5 questions. The first 4 were single select, meaning you just pressed that option and it went to the next question. But the last one was contact details. So people had to give us their name, their email, their phone number. Now, there was a question in this form about how much they make, and we filtered the leads if they were low income. So I'm gonna move to the step, which is if someone filled out the form and they were low income, what happened? Meaning if they were unqualified. Well, they landed on this qualified page, which is very simply stating, thank you so much, you're not yet ready, follow us on IG and you can get more information. You can learn more and maybe later we can work together. Super simple. So if this makes sense and it's perfectly enough, we can move to the qualified page. So what happens if someone fills out the form and they are actually qualified? Well, we land on the qualified page. And if they were qualified, we give them access to a book call. This is super important. They position the call as something super duper valuable, so they actually have a reason to do it. You have to position it as like something exclusive, like, oh my God, like this is something great that I can actually have. You can stop and read through the page, but this is what I was trying to do with the copy. But again, here in this step of the funnel, two things can happen. Like option one is they book a call immediately from this page, and option two is if they don't book a call from here. So what happens in both scenarios? Where if they book a call, we redirect them to the confirmation page. And we will talk about it a bit later. But if they don't book a call, we call them up. So let's go through that right now. So what happens is me and the offer owner get a WhatsApp notification like this. We have the phone number of the lead and the offer owner can immediately call up that person. And I'm not kidding. So many people who closed told us the reason they closed is because the appointment setting call, which is calling them up through the phone after they opt in, and of course they are qualified, felt super genuine. It wasn't like you're trying to sell a course. It wasn't that you're trying to do something to get them to buy. It was a very genuine conversation to actually see if they want our help or no. And this was due to the appointment setting script that we used. You can read through if you want, super long, but it's super, super important. And the goal with this was to call up the leads and get them to book a call with us. Again, super simple, get them on a sales call. But whatever happened, meaning whether they booked from a qualified page or whether they booked from the phone call, what happened is they landed on the confirmation page. What's the confirmation page? What does it do? Because this is something that everyone has to go through before they would have the sales call with us. So let's go through it. Firstly, we have a confirmation VSL at the top. This does three things. Firstly, confirms the call. We make sure that people do appear on the call. Secondly, it explains what's going to happen on the call, so people are not afraid to come to the call, and also kind of predetermines it because we say to people that, hey, you need to come with a credit card. Like, hey, come with a credit card so you can buy. And thirdly, we show them how it would look like to work with us. So what is basically our pitch? The reason we do it, this is super important, is because now when people come to the call, they have everything. This is more like an onboarding call rather than a sales call anymore. Like they know our program, they know that we are going to actually try to sell them, like we're trying to get them onto working with us. And so there's nothing that's going to be new, unique. It's going to be a simple conversation to see if this person actually you want to work with or not. After they watch this simple confirmation VSL, there is the prepare for your call part, which is very simply, again, explaining how to come to the call. And then we move to the frequently asked questions section. This is super important. This is what we call breakout videos. What is this? Well, breakout videos are objection handling videos. These frequently asked questions that you see right now are not really frequently asked questions. These are objections people could have on the sales call and you're trying to pre-handle them. So on the sales call, they cannot rely on it. They either have to say, okay, I'm buying, or okay, I'm not buying. But most of the times what happens if someone doesn't buy, it's because literally they don't have the money. Then people can watch this, or kind of they have to watch this. And below that, we have a client case study. This is for just building more trust, nurturing people that they're more likely going to buy. Then the training. This is again more value videos, so people trust my client more and they are more likely to going to buy. These are basically clips from previous coaching calls that he had. And at the end, we basically tell them that if you have any question, go and message my client on Instagram. This is super good for two reasons. One is they have a question, they can actually message my client. And if they don't have a question, they can go to IG and binge watch more of his content. So again, what we are doing here, or what's happening, is we are increasing the amount of trust that people have with my client because they consume so much content, and we pre-handle all the objections and remove everything from the sales call that would make it scary. And this is something every single person has to go through before they would have have a sales call with us. We send this through email, we send this through WhatsApp, and also if someone books directly from the Calendly, they are redirected to this page. And actually before the sales call would happen, we also send over 6 value emails like before the call. And what happens inside those value emails, we handle more objections, we send more value, and we also send extra like YouTube videos, YouTube links, so people are more likely to going to convert because they trust my client even more. That's really the funnel part, like how we get the eyeballs and how we convert them into leads and especially booked calls. Now, we want to talk about sales just in a second. I want to firstly get into something that I promised you earlier. This is the conversion part. Now, this comes back to the traffic generation part. This thing is with ads. Now, the thing I'm going to walk you through is super important in the funnel, but also for ads. And I'm pretty confident you most likely heard about it, but this is going to be a super good refresh of this information, which is pixel tracking. So what does that mean? Why is it important? When you're running ads, what's actually happening is Meta shows your ad to someone on the homepage or basically on either Facebook or Instagram or Threads. And when people click through that, they land inside your funnel, your website. The issue is that the Meta or Facebook, whatever you name it, doesn't know what's happening there. So Meta has no clue whether the person he sent to your website or funnel is actually qualified or not qualified or a great person. So what you need to do is set up pixel tracking on your funnel, which sends information back to Meta, to the pixel, that hey, the person you just sent is actually the right person. Now, how do you actually do it? Like, it took me so much time to figure it out how to do it properly. But simply said, what you need to do is give Meta 3 information. One is when someone landed on your page. Second is when someone became a lead. Third is when someone became a complete registration. And it's not 3, it's 4. When someone books a call. If you send these bits of information back to Meta, you can very quickly optimize your ads that you can have more clients or more leads for less money, like just cheaper. Because just think about it, if Meta knows that he sent 1,000 people and 100 of them booked a call, and you tell them which 100, Meta now knows to optimize this ad or this campaign, it just needs to focus or search more people like those who actually booked a call. So this is something that's super important. When I realized it and I implemented it for myself properly, or like for the client properly, we started seeing much better results. But that's something that I wanted to add here, and we can move to the next part, which is sales. So after people go through the funnel, most of their objections are handled. They really trust us. What happens? Well, we run our own sales call scripts like structure, but for this niche, our company has a very great sales call structure, which I'm going to show you in a second, and our clients love it. Like, Nick really liked it because it's so simple and it allows you to sell without being really salesy. Like, he didn't have to objection handle for hours or anything like that. It was super simple, and at the end it was either like, okay, I'm signing up, or something like, I don't have the money, and he just needed to wait a bit of time until people had the money. So there's no crazy systems. It's super simple. Let me walk you through it. So how does it actually look like? Well, it's super simple. We have the intro, we have the discovery, transition, pitch, commitment, close. This is usually 45 minutes to 1 hour. So what do? You do the intro, you meet the person, you talk a little, so on and so forth. You talk about the agenda, and then you get into the discovery. You go through the discovery where you understand their current situation, you understand what's their problem, you talk about the desire where they want to be, you create the gap, and then you move to the transition. In the transition, you basically ask if you have missed something, you build a little, trust with the person, that it's not just, hey, let me pitch you. It's more like, hey, is everything okay? Can I just now go to the pitch because I understand your situation? Then you pitch the program, you basically talk about what you're going to do, how, and so on and so forth. Then you talk about the commitment. This is super great. I love this. This is what, completely removes the objection handling, which is that we do a temp check. Instead of, dropping the price and being like, hey, do you want to buy? We do this where we ask them, hypothetically speaking, if you had to place yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 around our system, like how much you you believe it can get you to your goal. 1 is like, this is absolute dog shit. And 10 is like, Robert, I believe this can get you to your goal. Where would you place yourself? And people tell us why they don't believe in it. And if they believe in it, it's a 10. There's no reason for them to not buy if financially it makes sense for them. So as a result, we can go to the closing section if they have the money. If they don't, we set up a follow-up call later, and so on and so forth. There is so many things on this. But this is genuinely the sales call structure. And we implemented this, like we created a script for Nick, and also we done multiple role plays so he knows how to actually get this done. Okay, that's the sales call. That's the conversion. That's how we take someone who just seen our ad to a closed deal. It's super simple, but it's not easy. Like, there is so many moving pieces that you need to optimize, so on and so forth. And especially the sales call. Nick's biggest issue for like at the start was the sales call. He needed to really learn it, but now he's doing really fine. He's really great. But that's why I want to move to the feedback loop, because this is what basically package everything together in a way where it makes total sense. Because there is something coaches overlook for no reason, and it can literally break your whole business, and it's numbers. And what I mean is not tracking your numbers. The only reason I was able to generate $14,473 in just 30 days from scratch for this offer is because I knew the numbers of the business to the T. I knew where people were coming from. I knew how fast we called them up after they opt in. I knew how many appear on the sales call. I knew how many close. So these are simple things, but so overlooked. And genuinely speaking, that's the only reason we were able to scale so fast. And if we were not making money, I could just literally look at our dashboard, which I will show in a second, and tell exactly what's the issue, what we need to change/improve on. And I think people overlook this because it's just boring, but this is the only way you can make proper adjustments. And I want to give you a perfect example, and that's when we move back to the traffic generation, to these static ads. The part that really makes static ads work is really fast feedback loops. And I am tracking, as you know, where leads come from. I know which platform, which ad, and where did they enter the funnel. I know if they seen it on the story, I know if they seen it in Reels, I know if they seen it on the home feed, and everything. I know their situation. I know what type of, barber I'm talking to, how booked they are. Like, I know how much they make. I know what's their biggest challenge. And I know the sales data. I know whether they close, whether they objectioned, or they are disqualified, so on and so forth. And because of this, I was able to make super precise decisions. This is the feedback loop. I filtered out our sales calls for PIFs, people who paid in full. You see it right here. Money structure is PIF. This is the filter. And something stuck out. Let me show you the data. I will show you the dashboard in a second, but this is how it looks like when we filter it for PIFs, paid in fulls. I see where the people who paid in full came from, but this is what's important for me. What type of people paid in full? They were barbershop owners, and they were either fully booked or 80% booked. They were making either 5 to 10K per month or 10 to 20K per month. And their biggest challenge was either constant chaos or stress, or feeling stuck behind the chair, or losing barbers. What does this tell me? Everyone who paid in full makes more than $5,000, and their biggest challenge revolves around the one thing: feeling stuck. They are either constantly chaos, like stress, feeling stuck, or they are literally stuck behind the chair, or they are losing barbers, which is again being stuck, plateauing. So what did I do? I figured, why not make an ad that specifically targets them? You can see the ad right here. Guess what happened? We spent 130 pounds on it and closed 2 clients, totaling the revenue to £4,200. That's 32 extra ROAS. And again, the only reason this happened is because of the data I tracked and the quick feedback loops with static ads. When I realized this, I could do a static ad in 3 minutes, and I could publish it on Meta, and I could see the results next day. It's insane. And that's what I want to get back to, the feedback loops. The only reason we were able to make this money is because we track everything. This is going to look super complex, but I will bet you not. This is the reason you're able to make insane money in so little time. So let me walk you through what are we actually tracking. Well, I'm tracking like overall dashboard metrics, like total ad spend, the revenue that we had, the ROAS, impressions, total reach, visitor, CPC, CPL, CAC, so on and so forth. This is for ads, and this is for our website, like knowing how many people visit and start the opt-in, how many people opt in and become a lead, and how many people visit, how many of the visitors actually become a lead. And then we have the leads dashboard. This is like a breakdown of the leads. How many leads do we have? How many were contacted? What's the speed to lead? What is the pickup rate? How many are disqualified? What's the appointment booking rate? And again, it's broken down into the type of barbers that came through. And then we have the platform, where they came from, where they entered the funnels. And then we have this speed to lead part, which is again seeing how fast we contact them. Then we have the high ticket sales dashboard, how many revenue we generated, was the cash collected, total calls booked, total live calls, per call, average order value, close rate, show rate, cancel rate, disqualification rate, no show rate, by distribution, how many people do split payments, how do the people pay in full, where did the sales calls come from, what type of people do come on sales calls, and then what's the market research. Like after people closed, we send them over our market research document, which basically is full of questions. So we understand why they bought and why they didn't buy. And again, I can filter this based on where they come from and so on and so forth. But I hope this makes sense. Like I don't want to get too in depth into this, but if we had an issue, we are not making money, I could look at where is the problem and how can we improve on that. If people are not opting in, okay, I see the numbers. Why are they not opting in? I see how many people start the opt-in, but how many people finish it? It's very low. Okay, maybe we need to change the last part. Or the leads dashboard. Oh my God, we have the speed to lead, which is high. Let's change that. Let's make sure we can call people up faster. Okay, let's implement notification. Or in the high ticket sales dashboard. What's the total close rate? Oh my God, we are not closing enough. Okay, how can we improve on that? Or people are not showing up. Let's improve on that. But the point is that we know what's the issue, and we can improve on it fast. Like this is perfectly shown with this ad that I've created, and we had a 32x ROAS on that, 4,200 pounds from 130 pounds. That's insane. So with that said, that's basically everything. The only thing I would like to get on your opinion on is, what if you would know that all of this was done in 48 hours? And this is not a joke, this is true. You can check out our case study with Nick and you will understand everything that you have seen, the funnel, the ads, everything was set up in less than 48 hours by me and my team. Or on the other hand, you can just directly book a call with me and we will help you implement all of it. Thank you so much for your time. Cheers.